So we go ahead with the next talk, an ophthalmologist view on Sjogren's syndrome by Dr. Ritika Malik.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. So, I'll be speaking about Sjogren's syndrome, approach to its diagnosis and management. So, what do we know about Sjogren's syndrome is it is an autoimmune disorder and it's the immune cells attacking the exocrine glands. So, though cases were seen and recognized as some of these in the early and the late 1800s, but it was not named as such. So, Henrik Sjogren in 1933 was the first person who did name the disease, and he even came up with a, different term, keratoconjunctivitis sicca, for it. So the SS syndrome is also the KCS syndrome. So Sjogren's syndrome is far from a rare disorder, and it's approximately one half of the rheumatoid arthritis population is affected, from 0.5% to 1% of the population. Very famous Venus Williams suffers from this disease, and it's often found in middle-aged females. So the time course of autoimmune disease is, although SS was considered as a T cell mediated disease, tissue destruction is associated with the infiltration by the mononuclear inflammatory cells, including not only activated T cells, but also activated autoreactive B cells according to the lesion of severity. So, Sjogren syndrome symptoms are dry eyes, dry mouth, glandular swelling, dry throat, dry skin, and dry nose. So, extraglandular symptoms are also there, which are recurrent bronchitis. You give a history of wheezing and asthma, abnormal liver functions, joint pain, small joints pains, typically deformity of joints in the severe conditions, digestive problems such as an IBS is sometimes masking the disease, and also neurological problems are prevalent. So we do have differentiation such as primary Sjogren's and secondary Sjogren's. So primary Sjogren's directly affects the exocrine glands, which is known as the Sicca syndrome. And the secondary Sjogren's occurs with the other autoimmune diseases such as SLE, rheumatoid arthritis, scleroderma. So, how do we go about the ophthalmic evaluation? First is our Schirmer's test, 1 and 2, ocular surface staining, look for any punctate erosions, the SPK scores are fine SPKs, and the tear film breakup time is also equivocal to the severity of the disease. So this is the Sjogren's International Collaborative Clinical Alliance, which is the SICA cohort, which is approved by the American College of Rheumatology. So it gives us an indication of how do we categorize and grade the staining of our ocular surface. So the staining is also corneal and also the conjunctival. So we can stain it either with fluorescein, lissamine green, and rose bengal also, which is available commonly in your clinical practice. So this has been a study which was done in Narayan Nethralaya. So this shows that the immune cells on the ocular surface of a dry eye disease, which shows a higher activity of the CD4 T cells and also a lower activity of the protective NK T cells. So this research was based on the Schirmer's, which was collecting the tear film, and also the immune assay, which was the immune wash, which was collected. So it did show a relation where the OSDI was also matched with the Schirmer's. So a higher OSDI, reduced Schirmer's, and an altered tear film breakup time shows that there's an inflammatory dry eye disease underneath. So when do we investigate? When there's obvious systemic symptoms and signs, low Schirmer's value, not improving with lubricants, and higher staining score above the grade of 2. What do we investigate? So first we do the blood investigation, do a simple CBC count, RA factor, C-reactive protein, and the ANA for the SSA, SSB. And the ANA titers, which are higher than 1:160, is mostly directing to the Sjogren's syndrome. Anti-Rho SSA or anti-La SSB antibody should also be tested further. So they Rho SSA have a higher diagnostic specificity than the anti-La SSB antibodies. What else can be done is celiometry, which is the measurement of the salivary flow, which is done by the ENT specialist most of the time and also the rheumatologist clinics. And a lip biopsy can be done, which is rarely done, but abnormal labial salivary gland biopsy results have a highest diagnostic specificity for the Sjogren's syndrome. So this is an algorithmic approach for the management of dry eye in general, which I will not go in detail. But what do we do if there is a Sjogren's patient? So we can give mechanical or gustatory stimulation or salivary substitutes for your oral dryness. For your ocular dryness, start them off with the lubricants, add the gel ointments, then start with the cyclosporin 0.05, 0.1, or 0.09%. We also have liftigrast in the market now, so we can add that to the patients if they are not responding to the cyclosporin, and also topical acetylcysteine 10% solution for your filamentary keratitis. So if this is not helping, along with that, we have in conjunction with the systemic therapies, for which I think we should consider according with the rheumatologist. So make friends with a local rheumatologist and do refer your patients there. So oral pilocarpine does work very well. And also in severe cases, punctal plug insertion and autologous serum should be given. Seeing that the autologous serum is prepared in a sterile condition, most of the time it will show a little bit of redness when we use the autologous serum in the early stages, but most of the time they do adapt well if given with a steroid cover. So systemic therapies in association with the rheumatologist is obviously immunosuppressive or immunomodulatory agents, which is commonly methotrexate, leflunomide, and azathioprine also. And you can also start on oral cyclosporin A. The side effects are a little less, but always monitor the LFT KFT of the patients. Some of the biologic agents which are available are rituximab, IFN alpha 3.1 mu 3 times weekly, and also infliximab. So close monitoring of the blood parameters, see the inflammatory factors reducing or increasing, LFT, KFT as I mentioned, and keep a close watch on the fever and other systemic infections occurring in the body. Adjuvant measures also tell them environmental factors which they can alter, quit smoking, improve the sleep hygiene and physical fitness. I'll just run through a little cases. So this was a 55-year-old female, dryness which was complained. She was using lubricants but no improvement since a long time. Schirmer's was 4 mm at 5 minutes. Tibet was also altered and ocular surface grading was 2. Inflamed ocular surface was there, and ANA titers were positive for SSA and anti-Rho. So we did see that she was a primary Sjogren's-Sicca syndrome along with a little bit of MGD. So MGD was treated by our normal warm compress, eye mask, lid hygiene, and doxycycline. Also preservative-free lubricants were given. I generally give unim packs of preservative-free lubricants so that they use it more frequently, and lubricant gel ointment twice a day, and cyclosporin 0.05. I start them off and then step up to 0.09 if required. And oral methotrexate was added 10 milligram per week. So after there was some improvement, but she was not very happy. After 3 months of intensive therapy, she was still complaining. So we did plan her for an intense pulse light therapy. So this is our intense pulse light therapy on the Thermi Plus, which is also improves the aqueous deficiency dry eye also in most of the patient, in improvement with the MGD status. So this was her ocular surface analysis. If you can see, it was around 5 and 3.9. It did improve slightly to 6.1 and 6.9, but she was not very happy symptomatically, though quantitatively her results did show improvement. So this was a second case which was showing that abnormally high ESR and CRP levels were positive, and rheumatoid factor was also positive in this patient. So she was a case of secondary Sjogren's with rheumatoid arthritis. And what we started with her was preservative-free lubricants, gel ointments, preservative-free cyclosporin, also a short course of steroids, and removal of the filaments was done. And oral methotrexate was added by the rheumatologist. 1 month post-treatment, she was doing well. So just final summing up is primary Sjogren patients do have an increased relative risk for the development of B-cell non-Hodgkin's lymphoma also. So we have to, along with our ophthalmic evaluation, we have to do a complete systemic evaluation well, and make friends with your rheumatologist, keep referring them your patients, and they will refer you back their dry eye patients also. And from my side, just early intervention with systemic therapies is needed in Sjogren's syndrome.